Actually, it wasn't an audition. It was a long meeting that I had with Anthony Perkins. And I remember talking at length about my deeply religious Catholic background. You know, we spoke a lot about the Sisters of Mercy, less, as I refer to them. But anyway, I had that indoctrination in my past, and I think he saw that in my nature, something that would work for the part of Maureen. Somebody connected to a past of dogma, I guess a lot of dogma that would help in one's inner soul for this part. And I assume he'd seen my work. But actually it was one of those classic stories of going back to the hotel. And when I got back to the hotel, it was in New York City, and I had a message that I had already gotten the part by the time I got back to the hotel. So that was one of those sweet things. But he was a very endearing man, and warm and kind. Anthony had that kindness in his nature, you know, so that bled over. He blurred the line from his, I guess, waking life to his career. Some people act a certain way or do certain things in boxes, and I felt like this man had somehow come out of that box, and it was challenging for him. He even said to me that the directing part, that was frightening. Yes, he allowed me to expand, and it was just such a challenging role, and the role that he had to play, and wear both hats as the actor and the director. But he seemed to blend that so well, I guess because he has a certain inner strength and fortitude. I say balance, but yes, I was quite smitten with him. And I don't know, there's a certain sense of sadness about him, I felt, and maybe he felt that in part about me, where we connected. And I think for the characters too, like sometimes it's, you know, things blur the line, and there you are in these parts and everything, and sometimes it takes on its own energy and healing. I'm always one for that in my work. I don't take it lightly what I do. It's an opportunity to touch massive amounts of people. And I think he also realized that this intense healing art form. And I know in the past from his from the original Psycho that he was kind of, oh well, that's Mr. Crazy Man, you know, and typecast as crazy man people. But I think he went beyond that. Well, I think the power of that, the fact that Maureen is a nun and very dedicated to the Blessed Mother, the Mother of God. And there you go, you got the purest of the pure, the light of the light, the holy of the holy, balanced or with the dichotomy of the evil of Norman's mother. So that wash became very interesting, kind of like a, I don't know, a cleansing type of thing when I look back on it now and think about it, how my misinterpretation of that evil and that horror, and how I laid the good on top of it in my delusion of leaving this earth, you know, how indoctrinated I was to that pure place, and how latched and bolted down Norman was into his darkness. And we're both trying to struggle, I guess, with our own sanity, you know, so to speak. But I thought it was very creative how they did that. Anthony was very proud of what he did in this, and how he got everybody in his kind, gentle, firm way to allow his actors and fellow crew, you know, to bleed and be a part of something very special. You couldn't quite put your finger on it because he was large. He contained multitudes. I forget who said it. I contradict myself. Yes, I contradict myself. I'm large. I contain multitudes. And people find that frightening, and it's easy to box people, you know, to put people in boxes, and you over there, and this is here, and this is here, and this is here. And you're this way, and this is who you are, and your personality, but you know, he was a type of person that could go beyond that, you know, and see people and individuals beyond that. And I've been on a lot of sets, and it was very lovely to see everybody, in deference to him. He was also a preacher. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yes, he was, I don't know, a deacon, or I don't know what religion.
Really?
Yeah.
It makes sense. He played one in a later film.
Yeah, but
I know that was his suggestion.
Yes,
I should be a deacon in this.
Yes, but he was very quiet, you know, about his life and personal life, but very attentive and just an unusual listener. He was a true gentleman, and he had some other frequency about him. And he blurred the line as the actor and the director. I didn't even see any difference in how graceful he was in front of the camera as opposed to being behind the camera. Like I said, he had a gentle, firm hand with everyone, and even if there was something that was complicated, there was never a loud voice, or things were resolved quietly, and with humor. It was very funny also, and we had a lot of laughs too. I know, Jeff Fahey, the word ebullience comes to me when I think of him. Yeah, he was really out there from a very large Irish Catholic family, Irish Catholics, you know, so we had a lot of the same, similar base humor, I guess, you know. I could share stories about the nuns, but he was one of those actors too that liked to discuss things and talk about scenes and come up with ideas. So often it's films and television is just fraught with no opportunities, you know, to discuss anything with anybody. You know, you're doing your work, if you do any work these days, you know, on the craft of it. I mean, it's got to be done by yourself, and you don't have any opportunity to talk to anybody. Well, you got any ideas about the scene? You know, let's talk about it. You can only make it better. So we had a lot of fun and a lot of laughs discussing these things and making choices. What about this? You know, just, let's do this. Oh, this would be funny. Yeah, go yeah. You know. So he was out there. Actually, I remember doing something bizarre over the lip of the tub, and they had to get the angle of my face to match Janet Leigh's in the frame. I guess it was like graph paper or something, you know. I'm like, whoa. So I had to get my body over it, and I remember the black and white towel there and just having to hold, I said, I can't hold it for too long, you know, just. So that was, yeah, but I had to get in that. Okay, let me think. How did we do falling down the stairs? Well, it was in front of a blue screen or a green screen. I think I might have been on a pole, a tall pole, you know, going back. I look more like I'm floating, I think, than, you know, kind of falling, but I mean, how are you going to do that? But I think that's what it was. I was on a pole, like up in the air, and then they laid the image on top of the stairs somehow. But then how did I get my hit my head back there on that thing? Hey, I'm a devotee of the Blessed Mother, so I was just falling in air. I don't remember that. but they had thought about doing it another way. At one point, they did have a stunt girl rolling down the stairs. But we did that, but that didn't work. Oh, the bathtub scene was kind of freaky too, because I had to get into the. I said, "Don't tell me what it is, just you know." And
what the effects you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who was that? Mike Westmore, I think was the guy that did the effects.
Was it? Yeah.
I just get creeped out by the suicide imagery.
Well, those weren't my hands, and I never really had to do that. I just had to get in the water, you know, and which was kind of enough for me. I said, but they had it nice and warm, so that was okay. But the hands, they did the prosthetics, and somebody else actually did that. So I've never actually had to see that until it was in the film. That's another one. Can't watch that. Can't see that. Yeah, certain things that I was down on the floor, and the robe like had come off on my back or something. We were about to shoot something, and he was down there, and how he just gently touched my shoulder and on my back, and he said, "You're beautiful." And then I just started weeping. I'm laying on the floor, you know. I'm going like, this man, you know, it was just something that was just so simple, and so I think he had that voodoo, you know. I really do. It was a magic that he weaved with a consciousness and consciously chose to utilize it for good. Because he said he could have gone, you know, like, hey man, you know, I'm just playing weirdo people. I'm getting out of here, and I'm just going to play really nice people. You know, we go to the polls. It's like, well, I got to show them, whoever they are, you know, what I'm capable of and what I can do. I'm not just this goofball, this crazy guy, and he embraced it. Yeah, he taught me an interesting trick too about the eyes, and then the head follows. Yeah, he was very open with his little tricks, because he had like also a little bag of tricks, acting things, you know, that he would share with me that would help me to get you to a place quicker, you know, holding your breath rather than, you know, running around and just getting energy for a scene. Oh yeah, you get all goosey when a director like Anthony Perkins participates in the acting. I don't think I've ever had a director ask me what my objective is in a scene. And like with Anthony, I mean, we could talk about, what do you want? What is this scene like really doing here? What do you want? What do I want in the scene, and why can't I get it? Why can't I accomplish that? So once you get and you get there by asking why all the time. So as an actor, he knew that you need an immediate conflict. It's just like a struggle there. Okay, so the scene is over the counter giving information about Norman. So you're just there, but hey, let's do something else with it, make it a little more interesting, not only for you, but for the audience to want to watch, to lean in, that you got a conflict over here. So he was very good with that. And like I said, with the humor, because he was aware of what he was doing, and he could extrapolate and look down and laugh at himself about how he got to be where he was in that place and time. So yeah, he had the whole thing going on. I was very fortunate and lucky to have had the opportunity to work with him and share time and space with him.